to this, right? Literally get one of these. They don't cost that much. Literally write down. Actually, my first goal was actually a lot smaller than I thought. My first goal was literally get 7 X's on this tracker for completing at least one lesson.
If you're up for a good laugh, be sure to check out my comics on Instagram at JMan's Comic Book Adventures.
All right, lads and ladettes, if there are any ladies watching at this point, it is me, Joseph, London lad lost in Asia, and I'm going to tell you why I haven't been able to complete Draw-a-Box yet, and in fact, why I haven't been able to complete so many other art courses as well. If you don't know by now, I run an Instagram called JMan's Comic Book Adventures, and I post comics to there practically every day now. Actually, that's my challenge, to draw a comic every single day for the next, for 6 months. So go check out that Instagram, there's funny comics there. But anyway, I'm going to talk about the topic of the video, which is about why I haven't been able to finish Draw-a-Box, and why I've quit it like multiple times. I've tried to take it 3 times, and I'm going to do it my 4th time this time, and I'm actually going to document that journey on this channel with you guys, so you guys can keep me accountable, because I really do think there's value in that course, but there's a problem that I have that many of you may be able to share. So this is kind of me making a video as if there was my younger self, like people that are similar to me can watch this and be like, wow, I relate to this, and maybe this can help you change if you have a similar problem to me. Because this problem doesn't just stem from Draw-a-Box. Proco has a figure drawing course that I haven't completed. And what I mean by complete, I don't mean by, because you can't complete figure drawing. Figure drawing is endless. What I mean is that I haven't like spent the time to go through all of the videos and practice the skills. Like sometime maybe 7 months ago, maybe not 7 months ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I started Proco's figure drawing course. And I set up like as if I was in a college university situation, to where 1 week is focused on what he talks about in the first video about gesture, the next week is this, and the next week is that, and I kept on doing it. And even then, I think I got up to the structure phase of his course and I stopped. And this has happened to me like with when I was trying to learn how to make an online business. I took Iman Gadji's course, which is called Agency Incubator, and I didn't even do 15% of that course, and that course costs a lot of money, $1,000. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm being completely transparent. I signed up to Hustlers University. I did it for like a month and then I stopped. And the reason why with many of these courses and books, even like I've had figure drawing for what it's worth, I haven't gone through most of it. I've had so many different things. And the reason why I've only been able to complete maybe one, actually not one, I'll get into that later. But back then, before I started self-improvement, right, I was only able to complete one course, which was the Structure of Man, which is a figure drawing course I took ages ago, and that took me a year to complete. I was like, no matter what, I'm going to complete this course. I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to learn the muscles, latissimus dorsi, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm going to learn all these muscles, right? And I still remember that knowledge. That was the only one I was able to complete, and legit, honestly, there was a period of 2 months where I didn't do anything to do with that course. It was like a struggle and a slog to get through that course. The only courses I've been able to complete after that have been Brad Colebro's two courses. He's got 3, but so far I've completed 1, and I'm like 60% through his 2nd course that I'm working on. That was the Procreate Fundamentals course he has, and he has one also on cartooning, which I'm like 60% through at the moment. The only reason why I've been able to complete that one in a really good time and really make a lot of progress on the 2nd one is because I had to ditch this mentality of shiny object syndrome. Yes, the problem I had wasn't that I was just completely lazy, or it wasn't the fact that I couldn't work intensely. The problem is I had shiny object syndrome and I wasn't able to be consistent. These 2 things got in the way of me being able to do Draw-a-Box. Even though I've gone through, literally, Uncomfortable has critiqued my work, or one of his assistants has critiqued my work. Like at least 2 out of the 3 times I took that, I've gone up to lesson like, I think finished lesson 2, I got critiques for lesson 1 and lesson 2 like twice. I've done that twice over. But then as soon as I got to a certain point, each time I got a bit more further, I would just stop. It's because I would get shiny object syndrome, and I'd figure something else out there could help me progress faster, and it resulted in me not being able to complete courses. Obviously now this has changed. Like I said, with Brad Coleborough's courses, I've been able to go through them more. And it's not because his course is so magical, the best. In fact, I would say his courses are really, really good for beginners, but you're probably going to get more, depth out of Drawbox or Proco's course. You're going to get more like solid artistic skills from those courses than his, because his ones are really basic. Which is a good thing if you struggle like me. It's a good thing to actually go for the simple, easier courses first, because it builds that consistency, which I'm going to talk about, right? So if you do want a course like that, check out the link in the description, because I'm going to put his courses there. But it was because I just didn't have the right mentality. I would bounce around from different courses, from different things, and it made it really hard to sit down and focus on doing one thing, because I was always on the lookout for the next best thing. And the problem with this is, like, I guess you could say, is overstimulation, watching too many sources, checking out too many videos and seeing, oh wow, this could help me, and that could help me, and that could help me, which is why I kind of consume a lot less things now. And if I do consume like YouTube videos, legit, if I need to watch a YouTube video, and I do still watch YouTube videos, I have to write them down in my journal first, and then write down a reason for why I need to watch this video, and then I'll watch it. That way, like, I'm watching videos in sort of a more mindful way, which is helpful to me. And I think that's a technique that would help you too. I kind of got that idea from the compound effect, where he talks about tracking things. So I track that, and it's reduced the amount of YouTube videos I watch, and it's also actually helped me get more from those videos. So part of the reason is because of overstimulation, but I think the bigger reason why it's been such a struggle to complete Drawbox is because I didn't know how to make habits. I really had a hard time of making habits. Like Structure of Man, for instance, which I talked about before, right? The reason why it took me over a year to complete that course was because I didn't do it every single day. Like, I didn't start with every single day for 10 minutes. I was just like, I'm gonna do as much of this course as I can every single day. And then that would be too daunting of a task for me to do. And I would end up not doing work for a week or two, and then going back to the course. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I would actually say, is for guys to, like, actually, if you're like how I was, is to actually just say, there's this course that I know will provide me value. For example, Drawbox, right? And in my case at the moment, it's Brad Coleborough's 3 courses that I want to complete first. I want to complete those first. So let's forget about Drawbox for a second, because I'm going to come back to that. Brad Coleborough's courses. I got an iPad because I wanted to start up my comic, right? And the first comic I did was just literally me drawing on this desk in front of me, right? And it was just me drawing on paper, because I was like, I need to start this comic. I need to get my art career off the ground. I need to do something right now. I had so much energy for that. So I just grabbed some pieces of paper, drew the comic, right? And then with inking pens that I had from ages ago, which were probably from Drawbox actually, I just grabbed them and started inking. I'll show you the comics that I have right now here, right? They are these comics. Ooh, I can show you a lot actually. Yeah, they're these comics, right? It's these 3 pages, right? And you can find these on my Instagram, right? Here is page 1. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, J-Mans. You see that? And then you see this, the next page. And then what I say is, now this is the first joke. This first joke is about a train station. And then this guy's like, what are you doing? And then, oh, that's not the first page. The third page is this. I'm being a sit-down comedian. That's a stupid comic. Anyway, this was the first comic I made, right? And it was like, I think the joke is solid, but obviously the artwork needs work and stuff like that. You can check that out on my Instagram, right? And I was just like, let me do the comic as fast as possible. But then I realized that I needed to learn how to use my tools, which were Procreate. I needed to learn how to be a better cartoonist. And also Brad Colborough's third course, which I want to take, is the animation one, because I kind of want to, my grand goal is to do animation, right? So I want to learn a bit about how to make animation on Procreate. So literally what I did to help me to be able to complete courses was I was reading this book called Deep Work at the time, and he was talking about how you should schedule out your deep work sessions. If you don't know what deep work is, it's when you focus intently on a skill or a task that you want to complete with no distractions, no like checking Instagram, no talking to other people. You just concentrate intently and intensely on the task, right? So I was reading that, and he was talking about setting up habits and scheduling, he was like, schedule your deep work. But I realized, crap, I need to learn how to set up habits. So I started reading Atomic Habits, and then he was talking about this very important thing. He said that it's almost better to do a 2-minute habit every single day, right? It's almost better to do that, right? Commit to doing something 2 minutes every single day than doing something for 10 minutes one day and then stopping for the rest of the week and then doing it 10 minutes the next week. So I thought about how I could apply this to my drawing, right? It's all gonna come, I know I've been a bit scatterbrained with this video, right? This is kind of how my brain is at the moment, right? I thought about how I could apply this to the fact that I had problems struggling with finishing art courses, and I said to myself, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the intention that every single day, work day anyway, and on the weekends I'll do the same thing pretty much. Every single work day, as soon as I finish eating lunch at around 12:30, and I had an alarm for this, right, which I still have the alarm for this right now, I would sit down, and all I had to do was literally open up Brad Colborough's course, open his course, start watching it, put down one pencil stroke, and you're done. If you could do that every single day if you could do that every single day of the week, like during the work week, I'll do that at 12:30. On the weekend, I'll do it after studying Chinese. So after studying Chinese, I'll then start, doing this course, right? I was like, if you can do that, you set a habit up. And then what you can do, I have a wall calendar over there. You can just mark X, and that will help you to build up a habit of studying art, which is what I needed to do. I needed to build up a habit of studying art and sticking to the course that I chose. So literally, I have a goal sort of list on my calendar over there. My first goal on that calendar was 21 days. You need to literally sit down in front of Brad Colborough's course for at least 5 minutes. That was my main thing. Sit down for 5 minutes in front of his course. Now that I've done that for over 21 days, my current goal is to do 30 minutes, and the reason why I jumped from 5 minutes to 30 minutes is because I'm literally on summer holiday, because I work as a school teacher for the next, I have a summer holiday this time of 7 or 8 weeks, right? So 30 minutes out, literally when I have no other obligations, is I can handle that. A lot of other people will be like, why don't you do it for 6 hours or whatever? And again, that's the main point. Like I said before, when I was doing the structure of man, if I set my goal too high, way too high for me to accomplish, it will be a lot harder for me to show up every single day. So you start small, right? Start very small with your habit and then build it up gradually over time once you've completed it successfully. Once I've been able to do 30 minutes successfully for 21 days, and at the moment I'm 15 days into this new one, I'll set up to 45 minutes and then to 1 hour. And if you're studying every single day solely for 1 hour for a whole year, that adds up to a long amount of time. That's 365 hours, right? So that's my mentality right now, right? Is that I'm gonna pick a course and study it to its completion and make sure I'm doing it every single day, because that's how I'm gonna level up. Not by starting whatever is new and shiny. No, complete one thing first and then move on to the next. But the way to complete that one thing and then move on to the next thing is to make sure you're setting up the right habits, which is why I went through this whole ramble about Brad Colrose's courses and like how I was reading these books, because you guys, you need to know how to set up habits. So I will be sharing with you my progress throughout Drawbox, because I'm going to actually make sure I complete it on this channel, and I'm going to make sure I'm accountable. This is kind of like video 0 on the Drawbox course sort of playlist I'm going to have, showing you how I progressed through this course and how it helped me with my art. But I just wanted to give you guys sort of a template. And if you wanted to take a sort of if you wanted to take a tactic away from this video to help you, like let's say you're struggling with Drawbox and you've watched this video and you're like, oh man, I'm similar to this guy. How do I do this? Literally, I'm gonna actually just take the camera up and I'm gonna show you, right, my wall calendar. So here you can see my wall calendar, right? Let me set up my tripod here so I can actually stand up in front of it. You can see the wall calendar there. I've been meaning to show you guys this for a while, right? Here's my wall calendar. And there's another wall calendar that I have over here, right? And I might do a separate video on all of this entirely. This wall calendar is for my comics, right? But let me go back here, right? To this, right? Literally, get one of these. They don't cost that much. Literally write down. Actually, my first goal was actually a lot smaller than I thought. My first goal was literally get 7 X's on this tracker for completing at least one lesson. That was my first one. Get 21 X's on this tracker, you know? And then it was get 21 days of 30 minutes of study. And then that's gonna go to 45 minutes, right? And then literally step by step, go through that process of doing it. If there is a day where you can do more work, I would honestly say cut that and do something else. Like honestly, there's been days where I've wanted to do more and I have done more on some days. Like one day I did 75 minutes. I'm looking. One day I was at work and I literally had nothing else productive to do. So I did spend like quite a lot of time. I wrote all day, but I probably spent like 4 or 5 hours. But for the most part, right, it's been 30 minutes, roughly 2 hours, 30 minutes, all day, 25 minutes, 15 minutes, literally 90 to 120 minutes. I've got one that says, I've got a whole string of 10 minutes here. 10 minute, 10 minute, 10 minute, 10 minute, 20 minute, 10 minute, 10 minute. And I'm going through this in so much detail because I actually want to help you guys, because some people might be like, how the hell do I do this? Literally set the bar really low and then gradually increase that bar over time if you want to study any course and if you want to actually complete it. So if you're applying this to Drawbox, literally set the intention for 7 days to study Drawbox for 10 minutes a day. If you can do that, do a 21 day goal. Then do another goal and increase the time again and again. Eventually, maybe it takes 6 months, maybe it takes a year. I reckon if you did this strategy, it would probably take 6 months to complete Drawbox. Like, I reckon if you committed 1 hour a day for 6 months, you'd definitely be able to complete Drawbox within half a year. I reckon. Or you would definitely improve your figure drawing significantly. You would improve your figure drawing significantly if you spent 1 hour each day for 6 months. But build up to that, right? Don't just go straight in. You could learn. You could get significantly better at any skill. And I could prove that on my Chinese. On average, I've probably put about maybe 45 minutes per day, maybe, into my Chinese on average, because some days I'll do 10 minutes, some days I'll do like an hour and 30 minutes, right? Maybe 40 minutes. Let's just say 40 minutes. I'm now an A2 level in my Chinese to where I can understand basic things. Before I couldn't understand anything. Now I can understand basic things that people are saying, you know, and I can have basic conversations, right? Really basic stuff, but it's way better. A2 level means 600 words. So in the last 6 months, I've learned like 600 words, right? So that's basically my strategy for this. This is why I quit Drawbox. I didn't know how to create habits. I didn't know how to stay on task. I had problems with shiny object syndrome, and it didn't allow me to be able to sit down and do one thing for a long period of time. And if you're struggling with that, this is a sort of solution to that problem. But anyway, that's been my video. I've been a little rambly and all over the place because I have so many ideas on this, and maybe it would have been better if I did a little script and wrote it out, but I just wanted you to kind of hear my raw, honest thoughts on this without any of that. I know I'm a bit all over the place. I will probably make a better version of this video in the future that's more coherent and concise so people can really get to the roots of this. But if this video helps one person to commit to making better habits and actually taking their courses to completion, their art courses or anything they do, that means I have won, right? So this has been London Lad Lost in Asia, and I really do not know how to end this video.